Well, good day, viewers. We have a 2014 Chevy Silverado 1500 crew cab 4x4, 223,000 miles on it, and it's here because of what the customer described to me as a unwarranted ABS actuation. So I'm going to scan it and see if there's any codes, then we're going to look at wheel speed sensor signals. Just did this on a 2007, so 7 years later, and we still got the same issues. An error occurred. Let me reboot the scanner. 359,000 kilometers is 223,000 miles. Let's do a network code scan and see what the controllers have to offer. Immobilizer key incorrect. Interesting. I wonder if she's had a problem starting it. That's a history DTC. Pump motor circuit actuator stuck. Control module power circuit below voltage. History codes. I wonder if it's got a wiring problem to the ABS. Those are both in history. Rear view camera. I don't care about those. So let's go into the ABS and codes menu and clear the codes out first of all. And then we're going to take this for a road test. Make sure that they're gone. Yes. I'm going to build a custom data list. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just record all of the data. ABS braking data. And then take it for a road test and see if... She said the brake pedal goes low, like an unwarranted ABS actuation. So right front. I'm going to graph the speed signals, but I'm going to record everything. So of course it didn't act up this morning on the road test. I forgot to ask her how often this is acting up. So I've recorded the data and saved the recording. I'm going to go in and review it. And I'm going to look for TSBs and case histories on those particular codes, especially the one with the solenoid. See if there's anything common, any bulletins on it. So I'm reviewing the scan report. Immobilizer code C0110 and C0800. Now I know there's a ground on the frame mount, cab mount behind the left front tire. That might be an issue. I'm just wondering if there's any, see there's other low voltage codes and other modules. Control module, power wheel circuit voltage low, and the HVAC and the OnStar module, radio. So I'm not going to put too much emphasis on this low voltage code, but the C0110 code, that bothers me. Symptom 61. So we're underneath this 14 Silverado, and that is the ground, and I see that it's been spray painted with undercoat. So I've had that off and cleaned it, I believe a few months ago, because it was in before. I'm going to check the history on this vehicle. Here's the ABS pump motor assembly. We're going to load test the powers and grounds, but I don't think it's a problem with powers and grounds. I think it's an internal failure in this solenoid block. Let's have a look at the vehicle repair history. So here's the conditions for setting the C0110-61 code. The pump motor continues to rotate briefly after deactivation, creating a feedback voltage. Electronic brake control module sets this DTC if the measured feedback voltage indicates a binding or a stalled pump motor. So the pump motor is an integral part of the brake pressure modulator valve. looking at the vehicle history on here, and here is the report from yesterday when I scanned it. And we had the low voltage code, but we had low voltage codes in the OnStar module and the HVAC module and the radio, and I believe the BCM, driver's door, driver's seat module. So I'm not concerned about the low voltage codes, although I'm going to load test the powers and grounds to this module, this ABS module. I'm concerned about this C0110. Back in August of 23, she complained about an issue with the brakes, and that's when I cleaned that ground. I took that ground off and cleaned the frame and cleaned the ground and undercoated it after putting it back together. So there's the C0110. An invalid data receipt from BCM is a traction control switch circuit problem, but that's never returned. And in a previous time, June of 22, it was in, and there were no codes to be reported in the ABS module at all. So this seems to be an ongoing problem. So we're going to disconnect the ABS module and load test the powers and grounds, and if they test good, I think we're going to recommend replacement of the entire assembly. So there's the pin out of the connector view. Pin 1 is battery power and pin 13 is ground, the two large terminals. And pin 25 is battery power and pin 38 is ground. So I've got it connected across 25 and 38, and it lights a headlight. I'll move it to 1 and 13. And it lights the headlight nice and brightly. So I'm going to call this ABS pump motor assembly. Talk it over with the customer.